I'm here.
Perfecto. So I just kind of said good morning to everybody, and I said, we've been talking about this for a while, and the more we speak about it, the more we notice that we have so many steps and so many things that go into a pre-construction transaction process. And it's wonderful that we've paired up and we're ready to do this together and bring it to everybody else.
Yeah, that's right. Good morning, everybody. We've been talking about this subject, and we actually realize that there's a lot to learn. And we sometimes when you get into your business, you think that everybody knows about it, but in reality, not everybody knows about this. So keep every Thursday I'm gonna be trying to do something like about development sales training. So let me say hello. Let me see who I see here. I see a lot of new people. Wow. There's a lot of new people here. Let me see. Jonathan, hi. John here. How are you? Our J-Lo. We have a J-Lo in development sales. How are you, Jennifer? Daniela Riveros, Julia from the Julio team at Aston Martin. Hi, Daniela. Arlise. Arlise from Una. Do you guys know Arlise? You should meet her. How are you, Liz? Angela, my sister. Angela Santa Maria. There's another Santa Maria around, and that's my sister. She's the one who trained me. She's the mastermind here. She trained me about 12 years ago. Millie, Army style, 1, 2, 1, 2, 1, 2. I mean, that was her style. She was very tough. All right, so let's start. So let's talk about, I'm gonna do a share screen here. Here it is. Let's do a share. Andreina, just, I'm not gonna be able to see the questions and everything, so that's.
Yeah, I will handle the questions for you. I'll mediate and go from there.
Give me 1 second, I'll do, all right. So, hold on. Let me do one last setup. And no, never mind. I'm not gonna do that today. I was gonna do a live cast in Facebook, but I will do it later. All right, so pre-construction, when you're selling pre-construction, you have several steps. It's not only, and actually several steps that happens in the, inside 2 years, sometimes 3 years, 4 years. And so sometimes when you are in the general real estate side of this business, you think that you just went there, sign up, buy, I sold. No, it's not the case. You haven't sold until you deliver. So never forget this, because it's 2 years of relationship. As I said the last Thursday in the relation, how to choose your in-house. Remember, this is a 2 years transaction, 2 years, 3 years. It depends on the size of the project. It can be up to 3 years, 4 years of relationship. Now, so in this, today we're going to be talking specifically about reservations. When you, in the process of the reservations, let me make this big. I don't know if I told you, I'm Beatriz Santa Maria. I've been in development sales for about almost 10 years. I started being my sister's assistant. And today I work for Armani Casa and Porsche Design Tower, just in case that you have a client for that. So let's continue. That was the commercial part of the situation. So let's go for the reservation. What is a reservation? A reservation is not a sale. Won't ever be a sale, is not a sale, hasn't been a sale. A reservation is just a promise. We are boyfriend or girlfriend. Nothing has happened here. A reservation is just a promise that maybe your client is going to buy, and then maybe the developer is going to sell. Nothing else has happened here. Just keep it very clear. You don't go, I see a lot many realtors, they sign the reservation and gone. No, you haven't sold yet. You haven't sold. If you disappear at the moment of reservation, you are abandoning the deal and you are abandoning the client. As I mentioned the other training, you abandon the transaction at the moment of reservation because nothing has happened. And you are abandoning the client. If this client in 2 years lease that property with the in-house, don't get surprised. You abandon the transaction. So reservation is nothing more than a promise. It's a promise that maybe one day we're gonna get married. That's exactly what a reservation is. So let's understand the process. Sometimes, I didn't fix the transitions here. I'm sorry for that. Sometimes you have, when we launch a development, sometimes some projects, they launch a friends and family list inventory and some prices. It's just a very small inventory, just a teaser, just to see how the market goes, to see what's happening. And sometimes you can do a letter of intent. Some developers will accept a letter of intent. And what is a letter of intent? A letter of intent is the intention that you have. Me, Beatrice, I'm interested in getting this unit, the unit number 305, for the price about the range of X and Z. It's sort of price. And then you give something that you can do to give credibility to this situation is maybe a check. 10,000, 20, 50, 100,000, I don't know. It depends of the price of the unit that you're selling. But that's what a letter of intent is. I just wanted you to know that exists and that sometimes we do it. It depends of the developer. Not every developer will admit that or accept it, but they will take the check and hold it on escrow just to, as a good faith, or even you can hold it on your, or sometimes I've seen that some people will hold it on their own escrow and they will give us a letter, just the escrow deposit letter, just showing that you have done some deposit for certain interest. So you can arrange that with your broker. So that exists. Now, the real process, it comes with the reservation. The reservation is just an intention that the developer has to sell. And the intention is the formal legal paper that the developer has delivers to the buyer to reserve a unit, or maybe just a kind of unit. Remember, it's a reservation for the intention to sell. So what happens with many times, and perhaps many of you have encountered this situation and you get really mad. Trust me, we all are with you. I know that you get upset because you reserve the unit 305, but then they change you to the 205 or the 605 or whatever it is, but you were so into the 305. The reservation is just a promise. It doesn't mean anything and you can cancel at any time. And it happens. It happens in moments of high demand. It happens that we have to accommodate everybody because it happens so fast that the unit number 305, sometimes it gets reserved twice. And it's no matter of preference or because I love you more or I love you more, I'm gonna give you this unit or the other one. It's so hectic that we need to take decisions very fast. So that's what it is, the reservation. And then at the reservation, at the moment of reservation, if you can see here, this 10% is more or less the money that a developer will be asking you for. They will ask you for about 10% of this money goes to an escrow account. It's at the escrow account that the developer has chosen. Even if you have deposited, because I did this once, one of my realtors sent the money because we didn't launch. It was we were still in the process of launching sales, but we were not there yet. But the client and the realtor wanted to secure a unit at the very first price list. So what we did is that she sent the money to her broker escrow account with that letter, and with that the deposits and the letter of intent. We got to secure a unit on the first price list. But at the moment of reservation, we always have a title company. Always. We don't hold checks. It's illegal. We do not hold money, cash. Don't laugh. I've been offered a bag of cash. No, we cannot do that. So that's where the money goes. It goes to an escrow account, and usually at the beginning we take 5–10%. Let me tell you a little trick. Your client doesn't have the 10%. Guys, send the money. You guys have the 7% because maybe in a week you're gonna get the other 3%. Just send the money. Send the money. I mean, just send it. You don't have the full 10. You have 7. You have 6. You have 8. Send the money. But the standard, our goal is to get the 10%, and I'll tell you why we need that full 10%. Then, and that takes about the process of going from pre-launching to the full launching, maybe about 2 months that we are here, tuning all the marketing and all the processes. And then we go about 6 months later. Let's say that we got all the reservations, we got all the money that we needed. And usually, not always, it depends, but it's pretty standard when we get about 80% of the units reserved, not sold, reserved. At that moment, we will go to contracts. When this happens, it can be 6 months, at the best of the, our peak of the cycle. Sometimes it takes up to a year, but it's more or less 6 months in a good time. It can be, I've worked in a building that literally in about a month and a half, we were done with all the reservations, but those are different times. And then we will go to contracts. From reservation to contract, we are getting married. That's what it means. And then I'm gonna call you again. Listen, Aura Cristina Hernandez, that I see her here a lot. Aura, you need to call your client. I'm gonna be sending you the contract. It's gonna be via FedEx. It has to be certified. I'm gonna send you the contract. I need you to read the contract. Now you have 15 days to read it, to receive it, or cancel their reservation. We always have, we have dropouts. People reserve and then they drop out because it's normal. It's nothing wrong with the project. It happens on every single project. It happens. So we're gonna send the contract because people get sick, people get divorced, people die, people move. Many things happen. So that contract, we'll send it via FedEx, and we need to get it back signed. Okay. Some companies in our world in development sales, I've only very few work with DocuSign. We are very into paper. Why? Because back in 2008, we had a lot of lawsuits, like thousands of lawsuits, because you didn't send me the paper, I didn't sign that, I didn't receive it, and blah, blah, all kind of situations. Well, right now, everything has to be certified. We are very careful with the process. Trust me, we learned the lesson. So you have 15 days from reservation to contract, 15 days. Those are the days that you have to read the contract and send the other required deposit. Usually it's about 20%. So you're gonna get another 10% that it has to be sent to the title company. And usually at contract and after contract, we can go, once we reach, so we launch the project and we reach about 80% of reservations. And then it's like, you have to start over again. We need to reach about 80% or more. It depends of the loan that the developer is looking for. We need to reach a certain percentage of contracts that have to be solid. Why? And out of rescission period is 15 days, because those contracts, that package of contracts, you know, I'm gonna put it this way, you know, all these are the contracts, this package of contracts, these are the what the bank is gonna be looking at, because this is a contract that if the buyer doesn't continue, you know, with the sale, the bank will hold that money. Remember that these papers, they have money in escrow. So the bank will keep that money. So that's how it works. And that's why we need to convert. It's called conversion. We have to convert from reservation to contract. And then in the labs, and then we won't see you a little, I mean, we won't see you like for a year, perhaps. But in between, we have addendums, and those addendums, we need to run them. We need to proceed with those. Hold on, that is when. So that's basically, I wanted you to see where the reservation is on the process of the paperwork. We have a lot of paperwork, and we don't have, this is not stopping. We don't have like this holding hand from whatever you prefer title company. No, everything is between you and me, with the support of the contract administrators. That usually is that's our legal department, quote unquote, our title company. They organize everything, but the relationship is between you and me and your client. So please don't disappear. Don't disappear in the term of 2 years, because if I'm gonna be doing all your job, that client is gonna remember me. If that client remembers me, you're gonna lose the client. So don't do that. Don't disappear. I know that selling pre-construction is it's very nice, because you're gonna get 5, 6, 7, up to 10%. I've seen projects with 10%, and it's a nice commission. But it's a nice commission in the term of 2, 3, 4 years, right?
Beatriz, I hate to interrupt you, but we have a question. It says, is this standard, or does it depend on the developer? From Giselle Sorio. Giselle, what did you mean? What do you mean standard or depends on the developer? What did you mean to say? If you can, please unmute yourself and ask the question.
I'm sorry, Andrea, but I couldn't understand it.
Yeah, Giselle was asking if it was a standard or if it's by developer, but I don't know exactly what her question was.
Oh, hi, this is Giselle. I was asking regarding the timeline that you were giving of the 15 days to sign the contract.
Oh, that's by law.
It is by law. Okay, perfect.
It's by law. The rescission period in general real estate is 3 days. In development is 15 days, and it is by law. So okay. if by the day number 16 your client wants to retract, I'm telling you, you're not gonna get it. Don't fight it. Do not. You can tell me that the mother, grandmother, grandfather, and the entire family died. You're not gonna get it. It's 15 days, and we've done due diligence. Believe me, we do everything possible right, and we are very disciplined and dedicated to get everything about the contracts. So it's 15 days. That's the answer. Any other question?
No, amazing. Keep going.
Okay. So, and then by the time of the 2-3 years, we come to closing, and it's like doing the sale all over again. I'm telling you, all over again. You have to walk the unit. You have to show what is it that you promised. You have to do the punch list, you know, the checklist, the walkthrough is all over again. So I just wanted to show you where the reservation is. And this is a clear picture for you to understand that a reservation is not a sale. A reservation is just the beginning of a beautiful romance. That's all, okay? So who's the buyer? In a reservation, the reservation you can buy under the buyer's name. It can be Giselle Osorio. Giselle can purchase the unit, not a problem. So many of you are very concerned. Can I please put Giselle Osorio and or corporation? Don't worry about that. It's not the case anymore. I think that it used to be like that in 2000. You know, the prior cycle. Angela can tell me that. I don't know. I don't remember how it was before, but I think that it was the case. Angela is. And Andreina, can you unmute Angela, please?
Yeah, I'm here. What's the question?
So how, I think that it was before that you did the reservation with and or corporation, but that was before.
Yes, we used to do the name and or corporation owned by the purchaser.
All right, so that used to be long time, you know, in about 2004 all the way to 2000, you know, the cycle that we had in 2010 to 16, 17. Because today what we use is an addendum. So don't worry about and or that it's no matter. You can do you can buy under a family, or you can do a family, you can do a corporation, and for the corporation you'll get an addendum, and it's an addendum of assignability. Now, we're gonna talk about that later. Who can you assign to? Be very careful. A person you can buy, as I said, it can be an individual, it can be a family. For some, I don't understand the reason, but I had a family of 5, so I had 5 names in the contract. That's the way they wanted it. I don't get it, because I think that the best way to do it is a corporation. I'm not an expert. I'm not a nominal accountant or a lawyer or anything like that, but I'm going to tell you what most of experienced investors do, especially from overseas. What they do an LLC, because it's a limited liability company. If anything happens with that specific property, they are not held responsible. It is the corporation. And not only because of that, it's because of the laws about, you know, if you die, if the buyer dies, I think that the state holds 40% of that property, and will give to your buyers only a certain percentage. But I think that is 60-40 the relationship. I don't remember exactly what the relationship. So to not risk any percentage, just do an LLC. That's it. And then from that LLC, you can do a lot of income and expenses and profit and all, you know, accounting things. Ask an accountant, because, you know, I'm not an expert on that. So those are the person. Now, when can you assign? You have 2 years to assign right before contract. Don't worry about creating a corporation right at the moment. Some people want to do it, fine, but honestly, I don't see a need to do that. Let's talk about assignability. Assignability is a very tricky subject. Many realtors make this mistake. They sell under the promise that that unit, it can be flipped in the term of the 2 years, because we used to do that. In 2008 and before, we used to get 5% for unit 1, unit 2, unit 3, 4, and 5, and there was one buyer getting 10 units with only 5% deposit each. That it does not exist anymore. Do not try, do not sell that. It's a false promise. It's not going to happen. Do not get in trouble yourself. Please do not get in trouble. We still say, because some of our Latin countries, you know, in South America, is very common, and you see it. They purchase a unit, whatever is a, you know, it's a reservation, today and they go ahead and they sell it in 6 months, and then they flip it again and flip it and flip it and flip it, and it's a you know, it's a never ending game. And that's what it happened in 2008. We had, you know, unit 1 was sold to another buyer, and then to another buyer, but there was only one reservation, only one person accountable. So it was a whole disaster. We got to deliver the property, and we didn't know who the buyer was. It was someone in the chain. So that is a no to do. Do not sell the promise of a flipping, because you're gonna lose the client. Right there, you lose it. I'm gonna tell you what happens. But the moment that that unit is delivered, that client wants to list it. That client is gonna list it, and guess what? Another 70, 80, 100 people that they were sold exactly the same promise, they're gonna be listing it on the MLS. You're gonna be competing, and then you're gonna say, oh my God, the market is a disaster. No, the market is not a disaster. The promise is that a lot of people got sold under, you know, the promise that that unit will flip and will flip for profit. So that is exactly, that's exactly what is not happening today. Today, if you have a client that has a lot of money, is an investor, and this person wants to buy 10 units, pre-construction, guess what? He's not gonna get him. I'm telling you, he won't get him at all. So the maximum, you know, my experience is the maximum is 2 units. And if you want to get a 3rd unit, you're gonna be watch very carefully to see if the developer will sell the unit to you. That's why today you don't see this disaster in development when we deliver the units. Why? Because they are all legit buyers. They are real. They haven't purchased more than 2 units. It's very rare that one person gets 3 or 4 units. I'm telling you, I got it only once. And the way we did it, we sort of work it out with family members. So this guy is someone, he's from overseas. He's someone that has a lot of money. I think that my realtor is somewhere here. Is someone here, the audience? Let me see, I don't get to see. Oh, well, maybe he's here. The realtor that sold, you know, that's working with this client. So if you're here, hi. So what happens is that this person has a lot of money and wanted to buy several units. So what we did, the way to trick out the situation and go around the rules, it was to, we had 2 units under buyer's name, and then 2 units under one daughter, and then another 2 units under another daughter, another son. And then we were jumping that way. We were jumping with the family, and we created a LLC in Delaware. That's another thing. In a lot of people, for privacy, open an LLC in Delaware, and that Delaware company owns a LLC in Florida. If you want to know the why, ask a lawyer, but just keep in mind that trick. So that was our way to navigate, because he wanted to buy a good package of units. Now, developers do not want that, and the bank does not want that. Just keep in mind, don't sell the promise, because maybe you won't get it. It has to do a lot with the expertise of the in-house. It has to do with the expertise of the realtor. And if you don't know, ask. Don't try to trick me, because I know all the tricks. So ask me and tell me, how can I do it? How am I gonna get there? So, you know, in case that you have that situation, and let me navigate through the rules, because it has to do a lot with the banks. A lot of the rules that we have today in development is not because of me, it's not because of me, it's not because of my boss, or it has to do with the bank, and it has to do with the developer. We have to follow a lot of rules. Today, what happens, you don't get more than 2 units. By the 3rd units, you're gonna be stopped. And we require 50% of deposits. And it's only assignable. So let's go about assignability. Is only assignable to an LLC, corporation, Inc., name it, where the buyer is on the articles of incorporation. Got it? Only if the buyer is there. So Giselle Osorio purchased the unit, and tomorrow she named the unit, I don't know, Monserrate is the building, and the building is, the unit is the Monserrate 305 LLC. So Giselle has to be in Monserrate 305 LLC to be able to do the assignment to that unit. Give me 1 second, guys. Okay, so that's the rule. Very, very important, because it's not like, okay, so that's the trick. I'm gonna purchase the unit. I'm gonna create a company. That buyer number 1 is going to be on that company, and then I'm gonna sell the company. Well, it's not that easy. Get informed. Get a good accountant or a good lawyer to do that, because the developer can deny the assignment. The developer can deny the assignment. I cannot be more clear. Don't trick the system, because we already learned everything, almost everything. We today contract administrators in most of the developments are very good. They are very professional, and they know all the tricks, all of them. All right. Any questions so far? No questions. Okay. So let's
no
go.
questions.
All right. So, how long do I have to assign? Well, you have about 2 years. You can assign a contract in the term of 2 years. I've seen some accountants. They recommend. I mean, they don't want to open a corporation right at the moment of the reservation, because it makes no sense to pay all the fees year through year if the corporation is going to be operational. That's the argument that they give, and honestly, it is true. Some people, what they do is they open an LLC for privacy. Remember that we have, in some countries, we have some governments, they are quite difficult, and taxes are very high. They chase money anywhere and everywhere. So they do it for privacy reasons. They don't want anyone to know who owns that specific unit. So I want you to know that our reservation doesn't go to public records. A reservation is you know, it's for us. It's between the buyer and the developer. That's it. It's not public records. It doesn't go anywhere. Only at the moment of closing is when you're going to see who is the buyer in reality. So you have 2 years to do that, to that assignment to a corporation if it's for privacy purposes. You have the 2-3 years right before closing. Have all the paperwork right before closing. Do not wait a week before, but I mean about a month before. Have all the paperwork and let us know that you're going to be closing under a corporation. So that is about the assignability and everything that it has to do with the LLC that a lot of people have. I see it. A lot of questions about assignments, about corporation, and about the closing. So any questions so far? No? Okay, so let me go. Any questions? I think that's all. I'm sorry. I need to go and show you what a reservation is. Let me go, let me stop this. And I'm going to show you how a reservation looks. So let's
hold on, Beatriz. We have somebody in the chat that says, okay, Giselle said, what are some examples of the addendums that might take place between contract and closing?
Good question. Great question. Sorry about that. It's a great question. Usually there are several addendums like upgrade, common upgrade. Maybe we launch with a certain with a concept of being decorated already. Decorated already means no flooring, no finishes, just the kitchen and the bathrooms. Okay, so maybe a year later, because of demand or because people requesting that they wanted options, they don't want to deal with flooring, they don't want to deal with, I don't know, with curtains, name it, anything decoration related, it can be an addendum. That is an addendum, and it's an addendum to the contract. That's all. It happened to me in a development that one unit got bigger. It just got bigger, but it was actually a very good luck because that unit ended up being very nice. So that it has to be an addendum. The unit, they did some changes, you know, they changed an elevator, and because they moved the elevator, they got that space and they gave it to the corner unit. So that unit got bigger, and we need an addendum that you are acknowledging that your unit won't be, I don't know, 1,000 square feet, but it's going to be 1,200 square feet. So you have to acknowledge, because if you don't know, even you're gonna say, oh, but who doesn't want a bigger unit? Well, that it can be a way for you to refuse to close. So I need you to acknowledge that your unit, and that you accept that that unit is going to be bigger, because otherwise you can retract from closing. Oh no, I don't want to. I don't want a bigger unit. I wanted my unit 1,000 square feet because that's my lucky number. Name it. But that it can be changes in the floor plan for bigger or for smaller. Anything can happen. It's like it's 2 years. Remember, 2 years. Anything happens in 2 years. I have buyers that have died. And anything happens, they get sick, they die, they get divorced. You know what? I'm gonna tell you, very important. When a buyer, so when I got this couple that they got divorced in the middle of the process of the construction, but the reservation, it was under the guy's name. And then the wife, it was going bananas and crazy, inquiring about that unit and the money and everything. And it was a whole situation. We cannot release any information other than to the buyer. Oh, but she's the wife. Sorry, you're not the buyer. Yeah, but I'm the wife and I'm entitled. No, you're not the buyer. The buyer is not the person that is in the contract. Get a lawyer and let me know what can I do about it. All right. So the privacy of the buyer, and when divorce happens, I'm telling you, we cannot release any information. Don't you do that. Okay, because you can get in trouble. I'm telling you, you can get in trouble. Do not do that. Any other question? No more questions. All right. Who else is here? A lot of people here. Nice. Nice to see you. Fernando Valdivieso. Hi, Fernando. This is a very experienced guy as well. Fernando is from the old time. It's not that he's old, he's just that he's very experienced. So let's talk about
age is just a number, honey. Age is just a number.
Just a number. So an agreement. What is a reservation? I just wanted to show you. Yes.
Te quiero interrumpir. Check the chat because mine actually went blank, but there was another question in there for you. If you can check the chat.
Yes. I think that I can. Walter, you're asking too many questions.
Hay que sacar a Walter.
If buyer is in the operation agreement from an LLC and not in Sunbeam's records, developer will sign. Is that a question or a statement? I don't know. If buyer is in the operation agreement and not in San Bis, you know what, Walter? I think that you can assign. But again, some contract administrators, remember, they are like the guard of the developers. They are the ones that are trying to get the less lawsuits possible in terms of contracts. So if the contract administrator is very strict, very likely won't assign, but it's pretty much up to the rules of the developer. But I think that is a yes. Again, every contract administrator is, some are tougher than others. The good ones are tough, and just work with them, because I think that is going to be on your own benefit. Remember that the main idea is to close. We have 2 years to close, 2 years. Imagine if in a general real estate transaction, things happen at the moment of closing, and you just been dealing for a month or 2 months. Imagine what can happen in 2-3 years. So they are working for us. It's for our own benefit. I even though they drive me insane because they are very strict, I understand that at the end of the day, they are trying to do the best for us. Any other question?
But let me interrupt here for a second, because that's a great question. What the developer wants to know is that who signs the contract is it's the owner of the corporation. So if you buy the property and you do it under a corporation, and then later 2 years pass by, a different person signs and it's on the operating agreement, it's very questionable, and I think it should be allowed, because it owns the corporation. They could give you a hard time, but that person in the operating agreement also owns the corporation. So it's a very good question that I will definitely consider checking into that, Walter, because it could be possible.
It could be. I think that it can be, yeah, but it's questionable. That's the problem, and it depends of the developer, because it can be a risk as well. Because if there's one person and I'm calling to close another one, so who's gonna close? It's complicated. Always work and check with the developer, or get a good lawyer to do that. On doing in-house versus general. So I love this question.
And we're going to be doing a series on the in-house versus general very soon. Like, that is coming to you guys.
Yeah, that's another, it can be an hour or it can be 10 hours about why to be an in-house or why not to be an in-house.
Yes.
But it's I love the question. Stay tuned, because we're going to do that next. Maybe, I don't know if Andreina wants to do it next time. I get that question a lot.
Beatriz, listen, my Thursday masterminds, I've literally handed them to you until we finish this series, because I feel like this is such an important subject that no one touches. And when you and I first started talking, one of the first things that I said to you was, hey, has a management in an office? And I was not in a small, the brokers that I've worked with,
very big office.
They were very big. I was at Fortune for many years, and then I was at Optimar for many years. So I was not in small brokerages. And when my agents used to come to me and say, hey, I have a client that wants pre-construction, I used to, just go in there. They'll take care of you. And you were like, Andreina, what are you doing? No. And then we started this, this series, and it's become such a, it's such an important topic. It's such an important subject. There's so much knowledge that you're giving agents, that things that agents don't even think about. And even us as management or, executives in an office, we had no idea that so much goes into it. So
a lot.
My Thursdays are yours until we are done with this subject.
Very nice. Okay. So stay tuned. Maybe we'll do that next time. We'll do how to become an in-house or why not to become an in-house.
Or do you really want to become an in-house?
Yeah, I just can tell you, you know, grass is no greener on the other side. I mean, not always. I don't know if Fernando, Angela want to say something about that. At least you guys want to participate next time. We'll have a blast talking about our in-house life. We always say that we're gonna do a reality show. Maybe one day
Yes.
we'll do a reality show. It'll be fun and very fun. Okay, so let's talk about the reservation. This that you're looking at here is a pretty common. I mean, it's a very pretty standard agreement. It's if you see here, it's 3 pages, nothing crazy. I just highlighted the most important thing so you understand what a reservation says. And pretty much it says the seller, which is going to be an LLC company. So if you see, I don't know, Monserrate condominium selling in Brickell. Oh, that beautiful. So Montserrat, I'm purchasing from Montserrat. Montserrat is gonna sell me a unit. No, it's not Montserrat. It's gonna be XYZ LLC. Why? It's not going to be one of these big names. I don't know, I don't wanna say a name because I don't, but it's not this big name that is selling you the unit. Each development, it has a different LLC. And why is that? Because an LLC is a limited liability company. So that developer is responsible only for that development. That company is responsible. Yes, the developer is behind it. Yes, the sales and marketing company is behind it, but the responsible is only one LLC, one tiny, that one small part of it. And usually these LLC are created by equity partners, by the developer, by different entities in one. So always you're gonna find this LLC company, which is the seller, and knowledge is receiving from, guys, prospective purchaser. You're not the purchaser yet. Your client is not the purchaser yet. Until contract, you are just a prospect. It's a prospective purchaser. That's why when sometimes it happens that a project gets launched and we are full in reservation. Listen, it happens to me, and it's horrible. The experience is horrible, but that's life. We are very successful, other times we get downside. So we are full in reservations. The project was doing extremely well. Last minute, the developer says, you know what? No, I'm gonna cancel all the reservations. Why? Because we are doing so good that we decided to keep the property for ourselves. I wanted to die. When that's what it is, but that's why it says prospective purchaser, and is receiving a deposit for the amount of what I told you that usually is 10% or less. Send the money. I'm telling you, do you want that unit? Do you want to hook up the client? Send the money. Why? I don't know. I hope my boss is not here, but because I'm gonna tell you why. Because that unit has an escrow file. And at the escrow company, it has a file. So if this unit is tied to this escrow account deposit, this escrow deposit, this unit cannot be released in the future until that client or that money is given back. So that's why just send the money. Send the money. Just do it. Just listen to me and send it. So this is going to be for this unit, and then for the XYZ condominium located at whatever address. So I just highlighted some of the things. The seller determines to offer It's not selling the unit, it's offering a unit to the prospective purchaser. I cannot emphasize more on this. You are just a prospect. You are not the purchaser yet. You are just a prospective purchaser. And if now let's go. So here it goes. Today you're a prospective purchaser. Now about 6 months to a year have passed. And if a contract is offered to prospective purchaser, you need to sign the contract and then return it and blah, 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 and blah. But if a contract is offered to a prospective purchaser, I cannot emphasize more on that. You haven't sold anything. You haven't sold. I'm telling you, you haven't sold. That client can cancel anytime, and the money, it has to be returned. Now, I don't know if this has. Let me tell you. If the contract, let's say that you did a reservation, and your client decided not to continue with the purchase because XYZ reason, the money that we have in escrow, it has to go back to the same place where it was originated. Oh, that the money was sent from a bank in Hong Kong. Okay, that's where we're gonna send the money to. Why is this? First of all, because we need to be very careful where we send the money. It's not like Maria sent me the money and now I'm gonna send the money to Pedro's somewhere. We cannot do that because maybe we're gonna be liable for not giving back the money to Maria. Now, why? Because of laundering. So let's say that someone in whatever country wants to get the money in the United States with, actually it happens. It happens a lot. This is actually, that could be another subject.
And for transaction agents, they know, even for a small rental, it could be an $800 rental. The money that is in escrow, if it came from Maria, has to go back to Maria. I don't care if that was her boyfriend, her husband, el primo, but that money it was hers. We have to give it back to the same place it came from, period. So even in a regular transaction, no matter the amount, could be $50, it has to go back to the same to the same account. Walter has another question. And Walter says, do you know if any of those funds can be escrow at closing by title company until the punch list is completed by the developer?
The developer won't do that. I don't know if they can or cannot, but the developer won't do that. No, you are called to close, and you are required to do, the walkthrough and fill out the punch list, so they will proceed with the, future fixes. Now, don't you like it? Get a lawyer. It's what it is. It's not about I like it or not. It's not about do I agree or not. That it can be a private conversation that I can have with you, my dear Walter. But no developer would do that. And I'm gonna tell you, basically, I think that the main reason is because we have a certain amount of time to close. We have to close fast because we need to deliver, we need to collect all those monies, all those funds, so we can pay the bank. And it's matter of dollars. It's about paying interest on the loan that we have. It's very complicated. Selling development, it has many little details. So I don't think that a developer will do that, but you can fight it. I don't know if you get it. Any other question? Okay, so the reservation, something that I get asked a lot, especially by international buyers. The reservation deposit must be payable and will be held in escrow always. We don't have money. We don't have a specific account. Nothing. It has to go to an escrow, and that money is the is like the collateral to secure the loan from the bank for the development. That's what it is. So we don't hold that. It's a very common question because a lot of international, I don't know what happens internationally. You know, I would imagine that many things happen, but people are very concerned about the deposits, where the money goes. Let me, if I, hold on, that this window is not letting me see this. Well, if I don't get to see this, hold on. If a contract is offered to prospective purchaser and prospective purchaser timely signs and returns the contract to seller, and seller then signs it and returns a fully signed copy of the same prospective purchaser to prospective purchaser. Guys, make sure, try. It's not easy, but try to get every single paper addendum contract that you deliver, get it signed back. Get it signed back always. Always. Try to get it signed always. We're gonna be very busy. I can tell you, you're gonna be chasing us. We're gonna be very busy because we are very busy all the time, but try to get those copies signed back. You need to have that file for any future argument. You can have that, you know, you have that paperwork. Very important detail. If cancel, you know, the escrow, blah, 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 if it's canceled, it's refunded to prospective purchaser, which I already told you that. All, now, very important, another very common question. If that money is in an escrow account, you know, and if it's generated interest, who's entitled for that interest? Is not the purchaser. That is an escrow account, and all interest on reservation deposits shall accrue solely the benefit for the benefit of the seller. So this goes only to the seller. Never. It's a very common question, and listen. It's a good question from the buyer, and I understand the point, because if I'm giving you 100, 200, 300, 500, $1 million in escrow for 2 years, where is, you know, what is the interest that I'm getting on that money? Might as well I'll keep it on my account. So this is the answer for you, because I get this all the time. So the answer to that is, dear buyer, or dear client, let me tell you that you can choose to purchase in pre-construction because you're gonna get an increase in value on that piece of real estate. One thing is to buy it at the moment of reservation at the very beginning. Another thing is to buy it for resale. Oh, but Beatrice, that is a very common promise. It's going to happen unless the person is willing to lose money. Why? Because when you close, you're gonna have to pay 1.75 for closing costs plus 2 months that you need to do the development. So right there, you have the price plus the cost of doing this, and maybe the cost of putting floors and whatever, blah, blah, blah. So yeah, there is an increase. So I'm sorry. I don't know if increase in value, but increase in price. So it's 11 o'clock. So let me finish here. Prospect is entitled to assign this agreement. So here, and it says, look, prospective purchasers should not be entitled to assign this agreement. Even the reservation says so. So do not try to do it without asking. Do not try to without, you know, ask your in-house, ask the contract administrator if you can assign. At the moment of contract, usually when people are very concerned about the assignability, we deliver the contract, and it's a form, it's an independent form for assignability that I'm gonna show you later. So just to cover ourselves, because of the experience that we have in previous cycles, the reservation says so. And this is very standard in all the developments. This is very important, the good part for you. The reservation always, all the reservations has your name on it. I try to put my name, you see, salesperson, just in case, you know, even though it's not here inside, but I try. But here it says the prospective purchaser represents and warrants blah, 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 has not consulted or dealt with any broker, salesperson, agent, or finder other than seller, sales personnel, which means the in-house people, and realtor and realtor company. So here we'll go, I don't know, whatever, I don't know which company Andreina is on, but XYZ real brokerage company, and Andreina Monserrate. So your name will go here. Here is where your name goes, and at that moment is when you basically you are on a record to pay your commission. Basically this is about the same about that if no name is here, no one is entitled to a commission. Okay, so because I've got this before. Beatrice, I have this client, you know, Maria sold this unit to my client and they did the reservation, but I'm doing all their work. And it's not fair. I should be paid the commission and it's me. No, I cannot change it. You can do everything for that client in the period of those 2 years, but guess what? The person that is on the reservation from 2 years back, that's the one that we're gonna pay the commission, all right? And that's it, basically a date, purchaser, seller, and the seller is the company. Whatever company LLC is gonna be signed here, that's what I'm telling you, get that reservation signed back. It's good to have it, very good to have it, just in case of any disagreement. And your purchaser is gonna sign here. If you have 2 purchases, you know, they both gonna sign here. So look, it's just 3 pages. 3 pages for something that you consider a sale is not a sale. So that's my message. Now, what is an assignment, which is very important at the moment of reservation, because I insist a lot on this, because a lot of realtors sell under the promise of flipping before closing. Is not going to happen. However, we do give the chance to buyers to assign to a corporation where they have participation in. So if if Andreina purchased the unit and then she created Monserrate LLC, and she is on the articles of incorporation, then we can assign it. That is the rule. Anything else? Good luck with that. You know, I don't think that is gonna happen. So basically what is an assignment says is that the initial buyer is assigning to a corporation and it has participation, that's it. And it says that you are assigning the unit number, blah, 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 that you basically, that you assignee is accepts the assignee describing blah, 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 and assumes and undertakes to pay, perform, and discharge all the obligations. That you're gonna be, you know, you're gonna be assigning all the escrow funds, and that the venue is going to be Miami-Dade, if it's the case of Miami-Dade, or it can be Broward, but it's not like we're gonna have a conflict of whatever it is, and the lawsuit is gonna be, I don't know, in France. No, the lawsuit is going to be here in Miami-Dade. So that's why it says here. And the notices for the new buyer or the new company or new whatever, in case that you're gonna change the address, is here. That's it. Initial buyer, corporation, developer. Very simple. So that's everything about reservations. I don't know if I covered everything. It's very simple, but it's just the beginning. It's not a sale. Reservation is not a sale. Do not forget your client when after the reservation, because you're gonna lose the client if you forget about him. So any other question? Angela, Fernando, where's my in-house people are list? Do you have anything to say? Daniela, I have a lot of colleagues here. Very nice. Maria Scarola, she's out of Birch. Anything else?
Hi, Beatrice. Good morning.
Maria.
Hi.
How are you?
Good. How are you?
Doing good. Did I miss anything?
Nice presentation. No, you covered quite a bit, actually. But, you know, we all know you're a good speaker.
You're a good speaker too.
No, it was really good. I don't really have much to say. I'm ready to get back to work. That's about it.
We are all ready to go back.
Yes, yes.
So any other questions? Otherwise we can, that's it. We can wrap up here. No more questions? Great info. Thank you, John. Fernando, thank you. You're a sweetheart. We have very good, very experienced in-house people here with us. Thank you for joining me. If you have anything to say,
keep saying everything's amazing, and you know, like this last lady said, you are an amazing speaker, and the information you're putting across is so very well explained. You know, and it's so much information. No one, I mean, on our side didn't, you know, think that there was so many steps and so many things. So it is amazing that we were able to kind of connect and do this thing together. It's been an amazing thing to really interact and connect with you.
Very nice. Yeah, that's we have a lot more to talk, believe me. Our world is very, it's truly different, and it's a whole different school. It's a whole, it's another world, totally different. So let's do something. I invite you to join us next Thursday about why to become an in-house or why not. And I would love my colleagues, Fernando, Angela, Maria, Arlis, Daniela, join me, and we will have fun talking about this. It's not as easy as you guys think, and not as glamorous as you might think. It's good. So Arlis is coming with us next Thursday, and Fernando as well. So we're gonna have fun next Thursday. And our Angela is coming as well. Guys, it's gonna be a fun hour, or maybe 2 hours. I don't know, as long as you wanna hear us.
Did you mention how time consuming it is in-house sales?
I'm sorry?
Did you mention how time consuming in-house sales are?
Exactly, Maria. That's what people don't know. People think that we just get to our desk, we just pretty
and wait and just wait.
Sit down and wait. People,
isn't that what it is, though?
huh?
I thought that that's how it worked. I don't know what you're talking about, Beatriz.
Oh my God, you guys have no clue. I'm telling you, when I tell you that we can do a reality show, trust me, we can do it.
To put it together.
With you, Bea, with you, my God.
It's a small community. We know very well each other. Today I have great company. The people that are here, they are top producers, very experienced people, very good on what they do. Maria is very good in Fort Lauderdale. I couldn't be as good as she is. Fort Lauderdale is a different, you know, Broward is a different market, but she nailed it. You know, my applauses to her, because that's another planet, but she's good.
Thank you. Thank you. It's a different buyer because it's not as investor friendly. I wish we had more investors. It would make our job a lot easier in Broward, for sure.
And the community is different. You know, the realtors community is different. You have to engage with the realtor in order to get the sale, and you do that very well.
And almost teach the agent how to sell. When we came to Lauderdale, you know, the agents never really sold pre-construction. So we had to really show them how to sell pre-construction to these buyers that have been buying resales for the last 15 years. So that was interesting.
And sometimes they expect different deposits. All right, guys. So let's meet next Tuesday, and we'll do right here a reality show for you, and we'll get entertained. We'll laugh, and you know, you get open the window to our house to see how it is inside. Maybe you decide to become an in-house. You know, you're more than welcome, or maybe you decide not. All right, so see you next Thursday, 10 a.m.
Thank you, Beatrice, for the information. Very useful. Thank you.
Anita,
¿Cómo estás?
how are you?
Good. Of everything you said, I only had that one question was, you said that a client cannot buy more than 2 units.
No, the client could, very difficult these days. The developer won't allow that. They won't tell you that. It's not like it's, you know, it's guys, this is the rule. No, they won't tell you that, but they won't allow it, for sure. They won't allow it. Okay. Very difficult, very, very rare in a very specific circumstance where you know who the buyer is, where you have, you know, almost proof of funds for closing. It's complicated. It's not that easy these days. 2 units maximum.
Okay.
You need to trick the system in order to get it.
Okay, good to know. Thank you.
All right, guys, see you next Thursday. Maybe we'll do the in-house live.
Absolutely.
Okay, thank you, Bea.
Everybody,
Thank you so much.
Us. It's been another wonderful series. Beatriz, you know how I feel about you. I am honored to know you. This circumstances of this pandemic actually put us together and we've connected. And I think that I am so grateful for the opportunities of meeting people, even though they're virtually. So thank you so much for taking over my Thursdays. I am so honored.
No, thank you for encouraging me to do this. And I'm just using your platform, and now maybe we'll grow together.
Absolutely.
All right. So bye, guys.
Bye, Ann.
Bye-bye. Bye, Fernando.
Take care, Vive.
Bye-bye.